Hi guys, welcome back to another GGF video. Now you probably noticed in the past that the inwin 909 is probably one of our most favored cases in the past. Now this video is going to be covering a new build we've done in this. You've probably seen it on our page, we just posted it up, but I just want to go back in time and just cover where it all started with our 909. So our first ever inwin 909 build was our ASUS Z170 launch event build. Now this was done last year about August down in Sydney. So we did this blue build, and then after that, about 6 or 7 months, I kind of thought, right, I want to mix this up a bit. So then I converted that into our more recent AMD Fury build. So as you can see, the decked out red, got it painted red, pretty much matched everything to go with it. And that's got the two Fury X cards, a FX 9590 CPU and so on. Now, our most recent build, which you can see here, inwin has sent us a second 909, and this is the build here. Now, this build was for a special project. It had a really tight deadline, hence why this was done in 2 days, from start to finish, 2 days. But that's sort of been cancelled. I won't go into that. But what I want to do is just do a bit of a coverage video on this build we've done here. So I can't take credit for the green paint job. I do paint 99% of my builds because of the strict deadline. Whenever I paint a build myself or a case, it needs about 2 to 3 weeks to cure. You can still use it all, but as soon as you got to pack it up in a box, and say you've got foam sitting on this, if there's foam sitting on there for a few days, you got to pull it off, the paint will just completely come off with it. So I had this powder coated, matched with the NVIDIA green. As you can see, it's pretty much spot on. If I grab or as you can see in the background, the box is up there, it is pretty much spot on to the NVIDIA green. Some of the other areas, I don't want to go on too long, I want to try and keep this quite short. Some of the other areas I did, getting the green coolant to match the green paint job. I ordered about 4 different colors of green you can, but I ended up going with the Thermaltake C1000. So this is the opaque green. So I would say it's probably about 70% the opaque green, and it's 30% of their opaque yellow. So mixing those two together gave me the pretty much spot on NVIDIA green. So that was pretty sweet. Other things that I got matched, I got Cable Mod, which is a new sponsor of ours, sent us some green cables for this build. Unfortunately, the cables are a little bit too green, so I managed to get them to do another set of cables in such a short time frame, just to go with a sort of a more neutral black and white and sort of grey that sort of blends in with some of the other few white and grey areas. So that was pretty sweet there. Avexir has thrown in their brand new, this is their green Tesla, so you've probably seen their blue. We've had their blue Tesla, the Radiant. They've had their ROG Tesla, the red Tesla. Now this is their green red Tesla, and their green Tesla, and that's matched exactly to the NVIDIA colors. Not so much the light. It's very hard to get the light to match. It's sort of a bit greenish yellowish, but the actual RAM itself on the side where they've got the green is pretty much spot on. Other than that, Avexir also sent their green SSD. Down the bottom I threw in there. Now these what are they, S100 SSDs, they're brand new from Avexir. They do come white with the black gloss top. Now I thought to myself, well, the white one wouldn't really go in this build, so I pulled it all apart and I just painted the white sort of a matte black, and now you've got sort of this nice sort of mix between the matte black sort of casing with the nice gloss on top, and then you've got the really nice Avexir logo that glows, pulsates red, and then you've got the side that pulsates, which looks really sweet. Then one of the other sponsors, Bitspower, they did a huge, not a huge order, but they did a great order in such a hurry to get this gear out for this build. Now, mind you, all these companies are based in Taiwan. I think I received the case, the RAM SSD, and the water cooling gear within like 3 days from Taiwan. So that's pretty nuts for that. So we've gone with the black sparkle fittings all round. Didn't want to go with sort of a colored fitting or anything. I just wanted something more sort of neutral. So I gone with the black sparkle. Really love them. Gone with their 2 rads. These are, I think this is about 56 millimeter rads. These are Leviathan Extreme. They're really nice rads, really great performing rads. Gone with a nice long, I wanted to do something a bit different. I haven't done it in a 909 before, so I got a nice tube res just hanging from the top here, and these both go up. So you probably notice all the water cooling mainly goes up to the top. Now I do this in quite a few of my builds because I like to have all your your endpoints of the water cooling tubes go somewhere. So traditional builds, you just have sort of a, it just runs around, it goes to block, GPU, CPU in sort of a loop pattern. A lot of my builds I like to do is they all sort of go to one place and then I connect them with FlexiTube. So all in this top area that's covered, all the ports go up here through pass-through fittings, and they are all connected just through FlexiTubes, and that's how I get away with that. There's another pump res combo at the top, so that's where my fill port is. I can fill it from the back, it pops out, and then everything else is just on show. Moving on to some of the other areas, I think that's all the hardware. As for the motherboard, is the Maximus 8 Hero Alpha. So this is a new one where you can throw in your RGB strips straight onto the motherboard, which is nice. That's a nice board. I did a few little bit of modding on that board, just mainly vinyl, little bits of detail on the cover, which turned out nice. Then the blocks are the ASUS Strix GTX 980s, and I did some fancy sort of a pattern design on them. I just wanted to break up the black just to add something a little bit different there. Now moving on to some of the other sort of modded areas I did on this case, I added the sort of these panels along the bottom, the side, the top, and you've got these panels here. So that sort of cleans it up a bit, because when you get the stock case, there's just a big hole in here, there's a hole in here, and all this is just sort of empty for two fans to go in. So I wanted to sort of clean that up a bit and just make it a bit neater. So I just cut those out and just painted them black matte to match the rest of the case. Then I wanted to do something a little bit different, a little bit outside of the box. I ended up having a tube run completely underneath here. So as you can see, this radiator is upside down. So the tube runs out here, back in, and same with this tube here. And then from here to here, these two tubes are just connected via FlexiTube, and then they just go straight up. So what I'll do is I'll turn it on now. I also went to the extent with these fans. So these are the green Thermaltate ring fans. They look really nice. I even went to the extent to put on the little NVIDIA logos on the fan centers as well. So they came up nice. What I'll do, turn this on like so. All right, so some of the areas I probably should have kept a remote. I'll just grab a remote because a lot of this has RGB lighting that can change. All right, so I got my remotes here. Now I've got 3 separate lighting areas in this, or actually 2. So these 2 here are controlled by the same LED controller, and then I've got a strip all the way at the back that controls this lighting down here. Unfortunately, the same remote works for both, so when I change it, it's going to change the whole lot, but bear in mind I can keep this one if I wanted to. I just have to change the power each time. This one can stay green, and this one can be either white, green, or then vice versa. So if I change it to, let's see, that one didn't want to change. So now we've got different colors there. So if I put that one to green, so now we've got the top green. It seems like the one underneath isn't changing. Oh, I think it is actually. But yeah, so I can have the green up here, green here, and then I think this one now is blue underneath, so it seems to be changing at a different color cycle. But yeah, so they're the 3 lighting zones I got there. Then I've just got static logos up the top here that don't change, and then we can just go through. So that one's there, green underneath now, and it's a slightly lighter shade of green. Now bear in mind, these colors aren't probably coming out right on camera, because whenever you have lighting on camera, it doesn't quite look the same. And then the stock inwin case comes with this little pulsating bar along here. You can sort of have it to pulsate like that, or you can have it off, or it can just do like a tracer as well. So that's pretty sweet. Probably the last thing I did on this case is probably the front here. So if you're familiar with the inwin 909, it's got the inwin logo that glows when you turn it on. Now I did this on the AMD Fury build. I actually ripped that off and I replaced it with my own, and you can see exactly what I've done here as well. I've ripped off the standard inwin one and I've replaced it with a GeForce one. So that makes it really nice, and it sort of customizes it a little bit nicer as well. So it'd actually be a good idea if maybe inwin could sort of have those available to purchase for say like $5 or $10, and you can get them made up to sort of how you want, because all it is a little bit of plexi, really thin, and then it just has the logo sort of cut out, and then there's a light behind it which just shows through. But yeah, that's pretty much it on this build. I haven't really done too much yet. I haven't even sort of turned it on and put Windows on. I pretty much just smashed out this build and just taken the photos. But it's really been popular on Facebook. A lot of pages have been sharing it. I think the latest one was NVIDIA Middle East have seen it and shared it, so that's really nice. So just want to thank everyone for their support on this build. I want to thank Cable Mod, Inwin, ASUS, Avexir and Bitspower for getting all this gear out in such a hurry. It was a short time frame, and I just want to thank you guys for watching and stay tuned for next time.